Hello, this is Emily Barbara and David Dean coming to you talking about David's picks on the indie author Alley reading challenge that's going on this month. So if you want more information on the indie author Alley for August and how to play that, we have videos, as well as Leafy Reads at Leafy Reads on YouTube has the full instructions as well. So I wanted to briefly, before we get into which books David's going to recommend for his sci-fi and then maybe some other prompts that these books could go into for the indie author Alley, I wanted to just briefly remind everyone that David is an indie author, and his books and in his book, An Inbox Between Us, is on NetGalley. The first 100 people who request the audiobook get it for free. And so I wanted to just remind everyone, and his book and audiobook are available on Amazon as well to purchase, but I just wanted to quickly plug that for you guys. Okay, so what are the first couple of books that you have read that you want to recommend?
Yeah, so the first book, well, just a reminder, the prompts for this is, for sci-fi, is space survival, post-apocalyptic dystopia, and time travel or multi-dimension on it. So the first one I want to recommend is by Dennis E. Taylor. He is most famous known for his books around the Bobiverse originally with it, but he's also self-published some other books out there, and one of them happens to be called Outland. And it's I had read it a long time ago with it. I'm going to get into it again, and it's basically a multi-dimensional, multiple Earth types of situation with it, and about a portal to escape to a parallel Earth type of situation with it. It was a really good book. Really liked it. So that's one that you can look into.
Is that like is this narrator on the audiobook version, is it like serious, or is there humor injected? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so it's actually narrated by Ray Porter, who has who also has done the Andy Weir books as a voice actor and that kind of stuff. So he also does Dennis E. Taylor's books, but that one was originally self-published, and it's really good. So if you haven't read it or listened to it, I highly recommend for that, because that one's indie published. And then, if you haven't had the opportunity to, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, the first four or six books were all originally self-published before it was later on picked up recently by Simon & Schuster, I think. But all the originals were self-published for a long time on it. So if there's been a lot of hype around this book, so if it's something that's been on your list and you haven't to do, here's an excuse to get into that. And that covers prompts of post-apocalyptic or dystopia, creature feature, includes magic, and some of the original covers did have weapons on the cover with it. So that one covers a multitude of prompts with it.
Yeah, weapon on the cover is one of the fantasy prompts.
Yeah.
So with that book, you could get fantasy, sci-fi prompts,
horror for the
horror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to the audiobook for the first Dungeon Crawler book, and it is hilarious. I love the narrator. What's his name again? Do you know?
Oh my gosh.
He is so funny. I've been laughing out loud as I'm listening to this book. So my feeling is, if you're reading that book, Jeff Hayes.
Yeah.
Okay, just switch to the audiobook. Because the voices he can do is so hilarious. You just got to do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. So another book I want to call out is called from an indie author called Chrono Car by Steve Bellinger, and this is a time travel prompt with it, but it's also a BIPOC author with a BIPOC main character in it. It's about a student who travels back to 1919 Chicago, and so it has some really interesting stories about meeting scientists and that kind of stuff as a part of it. I have not read that, but it sounded really interesting as one that would you might want to dive into, be able to.
Will you be reading it this month? Or listening? Is it an audio?
Yes, he does. He does have an audiobook as far as with it as well.
Awesome.
And then Solitude by Dean M. Cole. This covers space survival option with it. It also sort of covers, the post-apocalyptic dystopia as well, but avenue. But it's about an astronaut stranded in orbit and a woman apparently alone on Earth after humanity disappears. So it sounds a really interesting premise around that. And then another one is Silver Ships by S.H. Juka, I think is, which is it's a space opera. So it falls into the space survival about a pilot discovering a damaged spacecraft, and artificial intelligence and human space survivors. So that's another one you can dive into.
What do they mean by a space opera? Does that mean it's like an epic space?
Yeah, I mean, there's.
The heck does that mean?
Yeah, it's.
Are they singing opera?
No, they're not. Yeah, no, it's means there's usually a lot of drama behind it and that type of thing with it. So
so a very dramatic space story.
Yeah. So those are some of the ones that you can look into and potentially cross over from a prompt standpoint. And I'll be initially focusing on the first couple, as well as the Chrono Car avenues, but there's some other options you can consider as well.
Okay, those all sound like great options. So remember, go check out The Youngs and the Restless, Tori Talks 2, Leafy Reads, and Lexi Davis. Those are the others who are participating in this, and I'm excited to see what they're all going to be reading and what they have recommendations for. So you guys have a great month, and we'll follow up later in the month about how these books go.